Hey everyone, I know the historical videos have sucked up most of my efforts these days, but I'm actually more in tune with current music than I've probably ever been. And I know a lot of you expect me to keep you up on current events, so I figured I should give you an overview of the trends of the year so far in pop music. Yes, one of the biggest songs of the year so far is a hacky stock joke about tumbleweeds, debuting just ahead of chirping crickets and record needle scratches. What I'm saying is that after a blockbuster 2024, 2025 has been one of the saddest and most stagnant years ever for music. Summer has officially started, and it looks like the songs of the summer are basically going to be the songs of last summer. Like, there is just no chart movement whatsoever. I am constantly listening to the Hot 100 to see which white girl I put at the top of my best list every year, and none of the big name pop girls, veterans, or newcomers are doing shit. Gaga and Lorde are doing all right at best. That's about it. In hip-hop news, the charts are still riding Kendrick's explosion last year, but that sure hasn't translated into a comeback for hip-hop. In fact, the entire last generation of new stars are all fucking tanking. Like, Megan Thee Stallion completely flopped. Jack Harlow and Doja Cat released a big collab that did nothing. Lil Nas X is literally on life support. No one's doing nothing right now. So, is this another country year then? I don't know. Morgan Wallen is still flooding the charts like usual with another stream-trolling album bomb, but I think fatigue is really starting to set in. I don't see anyone else having another big year either. In an incredibly bad sign, things are so bad right now that many of the year's biggest songs are, once again, old fan favorites from as far back as 20 years ago. That's becoming an increasingly common sign of bad times in new music. In fact, one of the biggest hits of this year is Pink Pony Club, which was my #1 song of last year, and it was already old then. I thought that was kind of an unexpected pick for me, and it's been fun to watch that choice become embarrassingly basic in record time. So that's what it is, just nothing exciting going on, nothing new, nothing that would make you look back and be nostalgic for this place and time, nothing. Or is there?
The rise in sensation.
It's amassed over 300 million global streams.
#1 in the Billboard Global 200.
That's become a worldwide phenomenon.
Well, guess what? It turns out we do have a new name rising this year. He's maybe the one new artist that has a chance of being a real breakout star of 2025. The same way that Chappell Roan was last year, or Billie Eilish in 2019, or dare I say Michael Jackson in 1983. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to the new sound of pop music.
They say the holy water's watered down. This town's lost its faith. Our colors on this side of heaven.
This, huh? Who is this? What?
Guess you never know.
Okay, this doughy white guy is named Alex Warren, and just listening to this, you would not say that this guy's any kind of big name, right? Because this is boring.
Taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to the dead and buried.
Like, no memorable hooks, the music has no punch, the lyrics, let me see here.
Side of heaven's gate. Oh, my life, how do ya breathe and take my breath away?
Heaven's Gate, Take My Breath Away. It's just a bunch of boring cliches, not a single interesting turn of phrase in it. At long last, Gen Z has its own everything I do it for you. But apparently he is a big name. In fact, he has the #1 song in the country, probably the biggest pop song released this year. And while he's the biggest new name in America, he is also absolutely fucking killing it in the UK.
Became the longest running #1 single by a male artist on the UK charts, surpassing Elvis, who...
Yeah, he's basically the most popular American in England since, like, Pocahontas. The Brits love this song, as befitting their national obsession with their own potato-faced white guys.
Ordinary is absolutely everywhere. It has completely blown up, that song. It's done so well. I'm seeing it all over my TikTok feed.
I really have no room to judge the British when the song is American and also pretty popular in America, but boy, I really think this speaks to a serious flaw in the British national character. Just something about their cultural heritage of mushy boiled food makes them eat up this slop. In fact, I kind of wonder if the song is named Ordinary, ironically.
Taking me out of the ordinary. ordinary.
Like Lady Gaga named Shallow that because it's the first time she's trying to be not shallow. Like, get it? So maybe he named this song Ordinary to prove that, you know, he's not ordinary. Well, no, he didn't succeed. Now, I think I've given it away that I don't particularly like this song, but do I think it's terrible? No, it's just kind of dull. That's not a big deal, right? At least that's where I started, but that's where I start every year with songs like this. I'll be like, whatever, until I have to start writing the worst songs of the year list, and it's like, wait a minute, I hate whatever you call this kind of music. Like, I fundamentally do not believe that songs like this have any right to exist. So I figured, why not just get ahead of the curve and hate it now? And that really got me thinking because, like, a number one hit? Really, a number one hit from a guy I've never heard of at a time when, like, Miley or Ariana can't even touch the top 10. So I'm gonna try and decode why this guy is the biggest name in music all of a sudden. Because, you know, how? It doesn't make any sense. Well, let us look at the current prevailing theories. Theory number 1, America loves white guys singing too hard. You know, it's funny, the last time I tried to do this was for Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License, because she went straight to number 1 with her first single with no build-up whatsoever. Everyone was baffled, me included, and I feel really silly about this now. Like, an attractive young woman became a huge pop star. How could this have happened? But in this case, we're not dealing with a hot teen starlet. We're talking about this walking loaf of bread. That seems like we're doing something really wrong. Like, why listen to pop music if they're not going to be glamorous and attractive? But actually, this has been a growing trend for years now, and it seems to be really peaking. Earnest white guys had a surprisingly big year in 2024, whether it be your classic stomp clappers, retro soul singers, or wannabe pop stars. Over-singing white guys has been a huge hit. Like, even Hozier. Arguably the guy who started all that shit, he got an out-of-nowhere second hit 10 years after his first. So on first glance, that would be where Alex Warren fits in. I guess. But honestly, I'm only saying that because it's the closest thing he fits to, but I don't really think he fits it that well. Mainly because I don't really think he has a very good singing voice.
Place hallelujah.
He sounds like Sam Smith singing at 80% speed.
From once on and on and back down.
Yeah, so if we took him just as a singer, I don't think I'd really count that as an explanation. On the white boy got piped scale, I'd rank him pretty low. So let's take theory number 2. Number 2, this guy was already famous. As someone who makes shit for the internet, I sometimes feel very embarrassed about how little I understand about my own industry. Like, sometimes I'll attempt to go to YouTube conventions, but I don't recognize anything or understand anything that happens there. I had dinner with Mr. Beast once, and I had no knowledge whatsoever that he was anybody important. We did not speak. So I didn't know this, but apparently Alex Warren is a very famous internet celebrity.
I'm Alex Warren, and you're watching Awesomeness TV's Next Influencer.
He was, in fact, a member of the infamous influencer collective known as the Hype House. In fact, he came up with the name.
I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need.
Yeah, as someone who works really fucking hard making worthwhile content that doesn't make you feel like a moron who wasted your life afterwards, I have an innate suspicion of anyone whose only job is influencer. Like, that's a word you use when you can't even describe them as entertainers. They're distractors. Like, they influence you to not work. Now, maybe this guy's content is really good, I don't know. From what I read, apparently this guy got famous doing stunts on TikTok, like skateboard stunts and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I cannot find said stunts because I refuse to figure out how TikTok works. I found a couple things on YouTube. Can't say I really get it. What I'm saying is I definitely support him transitioning to music, which is, you know, an actual worthwhile art form. And he's not the only person who has turned being an influencer into a music career. But influencers tend to make the kind of music you think they're gonna make. Either they make songs that reflects that their lives are fucking insane, or just general, you know, look at me, I'm hot and sexy, like you'd want a pop star to do.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bitch.
Or sometimes it's just the most obnoxious brain poison shit you've ever fucking heard. But it's all something, not, you know, this. This guy got famous doing skateboard stunts? Like, you know how Bam Margera's Can't Kill Yourself had its own punk band, CKY? This is like if CKY was Matchbox 20. How do you live in something called a fucking hype house and make music this unhype?
Make the mundane our masterpiece.
Make the mundane our masterpiece. The mundane? What do you know about the mundane? You've lived the most insane life I've ever heard of. Write about that. To try and get a handle on this guy, I actually watched his wildly unpopular reality show, and I think I made it through half of it before wanting to die, but I can tell you this much. All of these guys and gals seem very frightened of being canceled.
You can't leave your house if you've been canceled because you're subjecting yourself to literal harm.
You do lose followers.
And you lose a ton of brand deals and means of income because people want to break your pocket.
So maybe that's why this guy is so boring. He wants to make sure he never does anything that provokes any reaction whatsoever. Of course, that doesn't get us anywhere explaining what his actual appeal is, so let's talk about everyone's main theory. Number 3, he loves his wife. He loves his wife. Alright, I have seen a number of people try to understand Alex Warren's appeal, and the number one label that everyone attaches to him, wife guy. That's an internet term for guys who just talk loudly and constantly about how much they love their wives. Sometimes it's adorable, sometimes it's annoying, sometimes it's a giant fucking front and the guy's actually a complete piece of shit. In this case, you know, I can't really get mad about that. You can't get mad at a singer deciding to write songs about being in love with a woman. And he and his wife do have an actual genuinely nice story. She gave up everything to be with him. He was homeless for a time, they were living in a van or something. They stuck it out and they stayed together after he got famous. So I guess he built up fans that way, you know? It's cute, right? I'm sure it is to most people. I, unfortunately, am one of 10 people who watched his awful reality show, and while he comes off as comparatively sane next to his roommates, he does not come off as a born romantic.
Cobra is afraid of ducks. Today I've decided to surprise Cobra with a duck in our room. Come on.
There's a lot of him treating his wife kind of bad for the sake of making content. His big episode was staging a fake wedding to his girlfriend he hadn't proposed to yet.
So I needed something crazy that I wouldn't normally do. And I thought, how funny would it be if we planned a wedding and had it in a day?
Cobra, will you fake marry me for 24 hours?
I'll marry you.
For, you know, clicks. And she seemed not thrilled with it.
This is definitely not the first time he's done something like this.
Will you eat this Republic?
I genuinely hate you. But I want to stop doing bits that blur the line between social media and relationship, because it kind of...
Boy, that's not shit you want going in the photo album. Yeah, I know, it's a reality show, it's playing up the drama, and also they were literally 20 years old. Everyone's a moron at that age. I mean, they cut out the part of The Notebook where they had a big blowout fight because Gosling kept leaving his socks on the couch. Now these two are married, it's adorable. They wrote the song, and it's a perfect song to play at weddings and shit. They even have a, quote, wedding version of this song. It just takes out the drums, basically.
You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary.
I don't know, that's still not enough to me. I don't think that's much of a story to hang this on. Like, I don't think most people who hear this song think of that either. Like, well, this is just me, but I don't feel the love. Like, I really don't. Like, if you want some real wife guy music, I would turn to country music first. These guys are the for real deal. They are whipped. These guys never leave the toilet seat up. They call to say I love you during their lunch breaks. They watch your crappy HGTV reality shows with you. As a simp for life myself, I find these guys aspirational. I just don't hear it in Alex Warren's voice at all, so I don't even think their happy love story suffices as an explanation. So, if you want to know my personal theory, what is Alex Warren's genre exactly?
You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary.
I really couldn't tell you. Like, he's certainly not country. He's not catchy enough to be pop music. He's not earthy enough to be folk music. Not even like the most polished Ed Sheeran-y kind of pop folk. And he's not stomp clap because he's not stomping or clapping. Have we considered that this is actually Christian music? Okay, here's a thing I've noticed. Pop music has gotten a lot more Jesus-y in the 2020s.
Feel so holy, 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 holy. Oh God!
There is a lot of religious themed songs lately.
Two sinners can atone from a long prayer.
There's a lot more praying to God and amens and stuff. A lot of it from Dylan, our speedrunner Jelly Roll, who launched into stardom with a song about Christian redemption that I admittedly really liked. And then he's been milking that shit to diminishing returns ever since. But he is definitely not the only one. I feel like I'm hearing a lot of this stuff that sounds very Bible belty.
And I thank God every day.
Now you might be saying, well, that doesn't really mean anything. Everyone everywhere uses religious imagery. That's just, the language. It's not like we're getting actual full-on worshipy, God's not dead, I can only imagine contemporary Christian songs on the charts or anything. Folks, I have really bad news.
Oh Lord, you're always better, Jesus.
Yeah, we have full-on, no bullshit, self-identified Christian artists on the radio. And I mean like stuff that should be of use only to the most sheltered, fundamentalist, no connection to the modern world, faint if you see a gay person communities.
God, you've been patient. God, you've been gracious.
Like, this is a very real thing. There are 2 actual songs crossing over to the pop charts. One of them is this gnarly Chris Stapleton type guy that I don't actually mind very much, although there's a Jelly Roll version. Of course. Bro, is there any genre that you won't molest? But this is the one that really concerns me.
Lord, I am so thankful for the ways that you bless me. Everything you say, making waves like a jet ski.
If God loves you so much, why would he let you write that lyric? But even that's not the scary part. Like, I'll tell you what concerns me the most. Lil Nas X had a song that absolutely tanked last year. And at first I thought, well, he went to the well too often. His blasphemy shtick wore out. It happens. But people weren't just tired of it. People were actually offended. Like, genuinely angry about the offense to Jesus. Meanwhile, absolute fucking garbage that sounds like AJR in a cult is succeeding where it failed. I have spent some time in the Bible Belt, and I thought once I left, this shit wouldn't follow me. This is a bad fucking sign. I thought I was out. But anyway, is Ordinary a Christian song? No, not really. I mean, it's a love song.
They say the holy water's watered down.
He even says the angels are jealous of him and their love.
The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found.
Like, that's offensive to the religious people, right? Is it though? Alex Warren bring up angels and sanctuary and holy waters and altars and prayer, that seems deliberate. Because I watched his show.
I recently posted a video where I did 100,000 views less than what I usually do.
He's literally always thinking about his audience and clicks and metrics, so I think he knows what he's doing, trying to tap into the whole Christian pop crowd. Not that I can actually prove that he has any concrete connection to it.
I recently heard a song that I felt like was one of the greatest love songs I'd ever heard, and I brought Mr. Alex Warren here tonight to sing my favorite song in the
fucking Jill. Of fucking course. That's 2 degrees of separation. That's close enough for me. He's a Christian artist. Arguably, Hosier started all this white boy oversinging shit 10 years ago with Take Me to Church. And I'm on record saying that I do not like that song at all. But one thing you can say about it is that it's extremely sexual, extremely sacrilegious, and you could not play that shit at a wedding. Like, your aunts would be fainting and everything. Ordinary, though, you can sell that to even the crowd who thinks Harry Styles is an affront to God, or someone who's threatened by John Legend's overt sexuality. Like, is Alex Warren religious himself? Yeah, but that's not really why I think of it as a Christian song. I think of it as a Christian song because it sucks. Or rather, it sucks in a way that it doesn't sound like anything. As much fun as I've had shit-talking Christian music over the years, I actually like tons of religious-themed songs, and I may have seen Reliant K in concert. Like this guy, I'm relatively okay with this guy because he puts some stank in his voice and you can actually hear the instruments that are being played. Ordinary sounds like nothing. It sounds like a really loud nothing, but it sounds like nothing. The band I hear this most compared to is Imagine Dragons. And for the record, I don't hate Imagine Dragons as much as I make myself seem a lot of the time. but I certainly dislike a lot of their songs, and so did you, and the reason is because they sounded so empty. They were really loud and bombastic, but like, you couldn't air guitar to it, you couldn't make out any actual riffs or any instrument, the drums didn't sound like anything you'd want to play, and if you tried to figure out what the songs were actually about, you'd get nowhere. That's exactly the same problem I have with Ordinary. Like, at least Ed Sheeran lets you hear him play his goddamn guitar. He is very, very, very proud of that goddamn guitar. It's very prominent. With Ordinary, you can't make out anything because it's so overbearing. It's like you're getting beaten to death with marshmallows. In fact, can we make this a rule? You have to earn the right to acquire. You have to write something worth putting into the mouths of actual gospel singers. If anything about this song is offensive to Christians, it should be that. Like, please respect Christianity's single greatest contribution to music by not wasting their time. Edge of the knife, drunk on your vine. This is beginner hack lyrics. At least pull from the Intermediate Hack's Guide to Songwriting before you make a church group sing it. No, this song's just not very good. I'll never really get why it's big right now, and I've done my best. But I don't think any of the things I've said so far really covers it. So that'll bring me to my final theory. One last hypothesis for why this song got big. Theory 5, everything fucking sucks right now and is bullshit and the world is full of morons who yearn for fucking garbage. Boy. Okay. Look, if you like this song, I'm not trying to insult you. Taste is subjective. I like way too much shit myself to be shitting on other people's music. You're allowed to like what you like. I am not saying it is bad for you to like this song. But it is bad that so many of you like this song. There's absolutely nothing good that's gonna come from a song this flavorless and hacky being this popular. We just do not need to be pandering to the same audience that doesn't put paprika on their deviled eggs. And quite frankly, maybe music is bad right now because the world is bad. I hate when critics try too hard to tie music in with the current events. Like I hate that people have started calling early 2010s music recession pop. Like, no, the housing bubble bursting did not cause Lady Gaga. Man, I don't know. It's hard to see a song like this being the most popular song in America without thinking, you know, maybe this is just what we deserve. Like, I don't know. Maybe music is over. Maybe pop music is over. Maybe some combination of bad times, a fracturing monoculture, and algorithmic playlists means that we're just not gonna have good music anymore. Maybe we should just give up on pop music for a while until things get better. Until then, I'm Todd and I'm
now with pop news, pop it away.
Sabrina Carpenter announcing that she's got a new album in the works.
Oh, thank Christ. All right, music's back on. Music's back, everyone. Sorry. Ugh, I don't even care if that song sucks or not. It's gotta be better than this. Christ. Oh, and speaking of things that suck, here's a little show about things that suck that I think you might like. It's called Abolish Everything, where 4 comedians compete for the right to remove their pet peeve from the entire universe, and whoever can make the strongest case wins. It's a comedy, debate, audience participation show like they used to put on cable television before that all collapsed. So imagine seeing your most hated pet peeve. Badly trained dogs, that one song you hate, sketchy online mental health services. Imagine seeing people compete for the right to legally ban it from existing, and you get to be the judge. That's the joy of Abolish Everything, and you can watch that on Nebula, along with all its other original shows. Nebula is home to some of the most creative, thought-provoking, and just plain fun content you won't find anywhere else. No ads, early access, and a growing library of exclusives. So if you want to watch Abolish Everything and a ton of other amazing Nebula originals, use my link to get 40% off. That's just $36 a year or $3 a month. That's a great value, and you'd also be helping me, which I'd appreciate. So click the link, scan the QR code, and start watching now. Thank you, and good night.
Just an ordinary